In this video, I want to go over the 5 things that I don't like about the Toyota Tacoma that I wish that I could change. Behind me is my 2016 Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road. Now, first of all, I just want to make it clear that in this video, my goal is not to slam the Tacoma. I think that it's a great truck overall, but like any vehicle, there's always room for improvement. And there are a few things about the 2016 Tacoma that I think could be a little bit better. And so I'm going to just go through those 5 things real quickly on what I would like to see improved on the Tacoma. So the first thing I don't like about the Toyota Tacoma is that it's a little underpowered. When you get onto a steep grade, or if you're driving at highway speeds and you hit a little bit of a grade in the highway, the Tacoma starts to really rev high. You can really hear the engine working. And while I wouldn't say that it's not capable of driving at high speeds on interstates or highways, at climbing hills, it has to work a lot harder than your typical pickup truck. And so for that reason, I think that the Tacoma would be a little nicer if it had a little more power. What I would really like to see is a Tacoma with a turbocharger in it. I think that way you could maintain the same good gas mileage that you get with the Tacoma, while at the same time having a little bit of extra power when you need it. So that's the first thing that I don't care for about the Toyota Tacoma, is that I feel that it's a little bit underpowered. Now, the second thing that I don't like about the Toyota Tacoma is that it's only available in a manual transmission on the short bed. And so if you have any need for a long bed pickup, you're stuck with the automatic transmission. Now, to give Toyota the benefit of the doubt, most vehicles aren't even offered in a manual transmission anymore, and so they get a little bit of credit for offering the manual transmission and the short bed version of the Tacoma, but I'd really like to see the Tacoma offered in a manual transmission for the long bed option. So that is my second item to add to the list of things that I'd like to see changed about the Toyota Tacoma. So my third gripe about the Toyota Tacoma is the ride height of the long bed version of the Tacoma. Now, if you look at it from any angle other than the side, it looks pretty good. But if you look at the long bed version straight on, it sits too low to the ground. Now I'll show you, if you come over to the front or the back, you'll see that the ride height suddenly looks okay. From the front, we take it to the back. My apologies for the dirty vehicle. See, from the back as well, it looks pretty good. But as soon as you come to this side angle, it's a long truck, and it looks like it sits really low to the ground. Now, Toyota's done a nice job on the short bed version. It sits at a pretty nice, comfortable height, where I don't think that it really needs lifted. Obviously, you still see a lot of Tacomas out there that have been lifted with the short bed, but the long bed version, in my opinion, needs a lift. And while this one doesn't have one yet, it is in the works. So that's my third gripe on the Toyota Tacoma, is that the long bed version of the Tacoma sits too low to the ground given the length of the vehicle. My fourth complaint about the new Toyota Tacoma is the seats. Now, in the previous generation of the Tacoma, it had a really nice set of comfortable seats, a lot of cushion, padding. The new seats, while they look nice on the surface, they're not very comfortable. There's not a lot of padding, and so they're pretty stiff. And then down here on the bottom, it feels like you're just sitting on a bar or some springs or something. You can actually feel little like springs or something sticking through there. And so if you're slouched back in the seat and you've got your butt kind of positioned toward the front of the seat, you're fine. But as soon as you try to have good posture and sit up at all, down in that section right here, you just feel like you're sitting on a rod. And so that's my fourth issue with the Toyota Tacoma, is that it doesn't have very comfortable seats. So the fifth thing that I don't like about the new Toyota Tacoma is the price tag. We've really seen the Toyota Tacoma jump in price over the years, and it's gotten to the point where you can pretty much get a half-ton pickup for the same price as a Tacoma. Part of that's because there are a lot more incentives available on full-size pickups, both from the manufacturers and then from dealers. And so it's really hard to get a Tacoma for much less than the MSRP. But as a result, it means that the price tag is pretty high, and if you're in the market for a Tacoma, you really should be looking at comparable half-tons when making a decision. And it makes it a little bit harder to go with the Tacoma unless you're really wanting a smaller pickup, just because the value is not necessarily there. Now, the flip side of that is the Tacomas do have incredible resale value, and so making that upfront investment in a Tacoma you're going to see that, you know, long term, it's going to hold its value pretty well, and you're going to get that money back. Used Tacomas sell for insane amounts of money. I actually had a 2006 Tacoma that I sold with 210,000 miles for almost $12,000. And so, you know, even though, yeah, if you're looking at a new Tacoma, you're going to be spending probably somewhere between $35,000 and $45,000 for it. You know, you're gonna be able to get some of that money back if you sell it at some point. So that's my 5th complaint about the Toyota Tacoma. Is just that the price tag has really grown over the years. So that's my list of 5 complaints about the new Toyota Tacoma. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that this video is not intended to say that the Tacoma is not a great truck. I actually really do like it. This is my own personal Tacoma, and none of the items that I mentioned are deal breakers for me on this truck. They're just minor things that I wish were different about the Tacoma, and that I'm hoping that Toyota will address going forward through the remainder of this generation of the Tacoma, and then going into the next generation of the Tacoma. Overall, it's a fantastic truck. My next video is actually going to go over the 5 things that I love about the Tacoma. Figured I'd throw this video out there first, and then, you know, move on to the things I'm really excited about, which are the things that I like about the Tacoma. So just to kind of summarize the 5 things on the Tacoma that I wish that were a little different. The first one is that I feel that it's got a lack of power. The second one being that there's no manual transmission offered on the long bed version of the Tacoma. The ride height of the long bed is just a little bit low for my preference. I feel like it just sits too low. 4th one being that the seats aren't that comfortable, and then the 5th one just being that the price tag on the Tacoma is pretty significant. So those are your list of 5 items that I wish were different about the Toyota Tacoma. If you have any comments, leave those in the comments below. For more videos on the 2016 Tacoma, subscribe to my channel. In the meantime, thanks for watching and take care.